Beautiful waves coming through. First thing in the morning. Still the first heat. 9:30 on the clock. It's up to Gabriela Bryan if she wants to back up her 7.17. Here she goes. The top seed laying into a vicious first turn. Powering into the next section. Flawless rail work from Gabriela. Driving out front. Just a nice little setup turn as the wave fills up. But still in perfect sync and flow. Winding up for a brilliant tag on the inside section. Local hero Adam Robertson always tells me, hey, this is a paced type of wave, and Gabby Bryan certainly has it this morning.
I mean, for Gabby right now, I mean, she's really put that nail in the coffin here. I mean, just look at that whip that she gets through those turns, the tight arc. You can just see the intention in her body, how fired up she is. Just waiting for this last section to present itself. And I mean, it kind of gets a bit sleepy here, but she definitely doesn't. I mean, look at the aggression that she hits that with. There's just no doubt in my mind.
On the Red Bull skis, because we just had a big exchange during the break. Tyler Wright first.
Dropping an absolute hammer there. Big layback into another powerful carve. Just working this one through to the inside. So she's looking to replace a 6.33. And let's see the finish that she gets here at the end of this one. Tyler is looking in really good form right now. I love the way that pink ball contrasts with the blue ocean right now.
This was Italo. So big opening hit there, straight back on that transition to the bottom turn. Second turn was massive. Definitely one of the biggest waves we've seen all morning. Italo looking in perfect control here. And then a critical snap to finish off. So
Alan Cleland. Al's just picked off something. He just wants to back up that strong start. He had a 7 to kick things off. No one else has really done anything, and that's going to help his chances of turning in a great number, and goes all out on that last manoeuvre. Hangs on to it. Bounced around in the foam for a moment, but had the strength to get back to his feet, and again plugs the end section with a solid hit. Impressive. It looked like a sleeper, that ride, but it came to life midway through, which is sort of hard to do here.
He has just found an absolute gem here. It's like a second wave of the set. Nice big swooping roundhouse. Just hitting the brakes here. Just stalling, waiting for it to stand up again. Here's that opening section where he really blasts that first big pointing turn.
Wow.
And again, loses the fins, but somehow regains control. And then a big exclamation mark as it stands up again. Just pounding that final section. Beautiful technique here. Keeps control, lets go of that turn right at the critical moment so that he gets to this next more vertical turn here and completely breaks the fins free out the back of the wave. Full rotation there, an incredibly hard section to negotiate as that wave breaks behind you, and regains control, does it perfectly.
Blunder that she made earlier on. Let's have a look at the replay here, Flick.
Oh, wow. I mean, absolute hammers. So much power, so much speed, and placement perfect. Jamming it at exactly the right point. I just can't. She's really impressing me. Every turn just got better and better. Let's break it down. Super slow-mo here. Just absolutely jamming it. I just love how precise it is, how much water is thrown, how much water is displaced, and it just, I mean, I know we saw one fall before on that 6.5, but she just looks so sure-footed. That is serious.
That's a medium-sized set wave too, Rich, that's just, there's no points left on it.
There's none. She hasn't left anything out there. And that final turn, they just got better and better. Full tail release, full control during what was a super critical turn.
Yeah, I think he's going to be facing the same challenge. Ethan Ewing on this forehand has just proven so deadly in the past. And what about that opening turn? Unbelievable. Floating to get transitioning down the line with plenty of speed to a big finish. 8.83. Let's have a look at the replay.
massive snap there. Just the placement of the turns, it couldn't have been better. It just really reminding me of Mick Fanning a lot, actually, when I'm watching that. Just the same sort of technique, same style, same pop out of the top of the lip. Just really beautiful to see. Just a blend of Joel, blend of Mick. I'm just really seeing it. It just looks so beautiful to watch. Just the transition between, you know, that being a rail carve and then releasing the fins. It's just, you're not really thinking, you're just reacting at that point, and he's just doing such a good job here. Just the pivot, the rail work, it's all come together. First wave of the heat too, just dropping an excellent score. I mean, it's going to feel absolutely so good.
8.83. The ability with that speed that he was able to generate, to commit to each turn, to get that board fully redirected, is what's helped him fetch this big score.
Changing gears on demand, holding his speed throughout that ride. Kanoa needs to get back in this heat. He's got a nice wall opening up. Igarashi lays down a beautiful first turn. Hard off the bottom, punches out the second effort. Super smooth, now he's starting to run. Looking for a major layback, blowtail, controls it. Igarashi.
Nice and strong again, so each one of his rides completed. Kanoa, nice and low at the start. Layback hack to get this wave underway. A nice high re-entry. And then here he just streaks down the line for speed and a real tail sliding hack to finish off.
But now Seth's right back in rhythm with the ocean. Winding up, big full rotation, perfect landing. Right in front of Miguel Pupo.
Fully hung back, but let's have a look at this. Seth Moniz building for speed, only had the one option. Gets the full rotation in the air. And just a buttery little landing. But pay attention, the nose of the board was pointing towards the shore while he was still in the air, and as he came down for the landing, lateral takeoff, extends out in front of the wave, gets the quick grab, full rotation at this point here, and then he just takes all that impact into his legs. And a perfect landing to that air. Love seeing this from Seth Moniz.
It's all Griff right now, but Maddie's taking a look at this one, and McGillivray is on.
He's going to take it, and it's getting to that point in the heat where he's going to have to turn this one with a single ride, and it's a big number he needs. 9.23, that'll help. Huge rip into the face, and attacking the bowl once again. There is a really tidy combination there on the outside, one of the best that we've seen so far this morning. But he'll probably need a bit more out of this one as he loads up on the inside. Needs one of those big finishes. He's so capable of.
Definitely improve his situation. Let's see what Maddie did.
Yeah, I think Maddie's improving here too. These rail turns were some of my favorite. A lot of power. This one in particular gets right on that knife edge. A little bit of variety right there. Kind of a medium-sized wave, but it's got that connection on the reef where it's cupped out a little bit on that outside section. A little bit of downtime here. He improves his situation, I would say, but I think Griffin's also going to up the ante on his last and, you know, getting the finish here. One of my favorite Mason Ho quotes is, "I never lose a heat, I just run out of time." I feel like that's the same for Matt.
So he's going to go down, and Jake Marshall might be able to really capitalise on these opening set rides. There's one of those big smooth carves, draws it right back into the trough, and a huge combo on the outside. A classic Bells combo, and gets a third turn in too. Pairs it up with another nice rail turn, and already the body language saying, this is a good one, I know it. If he can finish it off, it could go excellent.
It will go excellent.
Love that stylish stuff from Marshall, who's going to bring this one right through to the inside, representing Encinitas, California, and taking that one right to the sand.
Jake, just a beautiful looking wave here. I love this extended carve, holds it all the way round, stays nice and low, straight up into that second turn, blast the lip and a third, a beautiful wrap, just zero loss of speed in between each of these turns. And Jake just cutting a deep track through his path, his turning pathway on the slow-mo here. You can see it. Watch him hold this inside line, that heel side rail, all the way round. The back arm just keeping that momentum, gets compressed, generates all that speed, locks it into place. Now he releases it again, kicks the tail out. Just poetry in motion here from Jake Marshall. And that sharp eye board looking super connected under his feet. He's paired it up with the most successful fin in the world, the Mick Fanning FCS2 template, and it is serving him well. Just locking him into these beautiful open face calves.
Kicks on that tail, it'll certainly help narrow the requirement behind him though. Marshall's got another ride.
Jake Marshall coming all the way through to the inside, connects again, finishes off, and a little bit of a claim, some body expression there from Jake Marshall, which we don't see very often. One of the most humble, easygoing guys on the tour. Let's see what happened with Jake Marshall. Bigger wave. Look at the face of this thing. Jake does that open face carve again. Connects with the lip, blows the tail again. Is he going to get the third? He certainly is. Jams it in the pocket, nice and hard. And a wrapping cutback. The legs are starting to burn, but Jake is just picking the absolute gems in this heat.
Yeah, he's been on the second wave of the sets too, Rich. But we are really seeing him open up, especially in this last 12 months. During the break, we had Joao Chianca getting himself back on a nice, clean, open face and just showing everything at it. You've got to love this guy's just aggressive approach. He gives it everything. And this might be what he needs to get himself out of combination. He loves it. Throws a little shaka midway through the ride and then keeps rolling on through to this inside. So an impressive bounce back for the Brazilian.
Yeah, you could tell he's dancing again, and that's what happens when this guy starts to connect. It's almost like he's doing a samba with the wave, just throwing both arms, just ripping into the wave face, creating that stall, that moment where the board just changes direction in such a tight angle.
Oh no!
Gets straight back onto it again. Big open face carve off the lip. Geez, he's thrown absolutely everything into it to get that score, but...
Oh, that's why I let out the oh no, because he didn't break combination. He gave it everything he's got.
Absolutely ripping it in that last heat as we flow into a beautiful arc from one of the best of all time, Filipe Toledo. 15 CT wins along with his 2 world titles, tapping that end section and looking like he found his flow.
And then behind this for me, oh my goodness, I got so excited. This is the form that we see, you know, Filipe in his world title years. I can't fault this. It's incredible. He's belting it. It's one of the biggest set raves. So you can just see that he's clicked in. He's surfing to the pace of the wave. He looks fired up. I mean, I would be if I just watched Jake drop 2 9s as well. And that's scary if you're competing against Filipe right now and he's locked into that form of what we've seen him, you know, which is what's taken him to 2 world titles.
8.5 for Filipe Toledo. Unbelievable control in the pocket, surfing so fast. He's always been the fastest guy on tour, but just with beautiful decisions with his rail work. Looking so comfortable in the pocket on the bowl.
Just the torque from his upper body is super impressive. And
on my next break, right into action. How about that? Blasting it in the pocket is Jackson Bunch. Nice controlled transition. How about that snap? Nice flow and pace for the rookie. Jack Robinson's getting started behind him. He'll connect with a big forehand snap. Driving into the pocket. Jackson Bunch through the whitewater. Jack coming off the top again. And nice little inside slap there for Jackson Bunch.
I loved it. I thought this was probably the best wave Jackson surfed so far. I mean, really critical, well-timed turns here. That was so vertical and just beautifully powering through that 3rd section. Just nice and timed, paced approach, brings it through to the inside, and he gets the finish. So I think, he's searching for a giant score here if he's going to come up and take the lead off Jack. He needs a 9.26, so it's got to be better than, you start thinking about Jack's 7.93. Is it better than that?
What'd you see here, Flick?
I saw Jack kind of tactical move, just taking off straight out behind Jackson, knowing he had the first wave. Let's maybe give the judges something to think about behind him. I think it was well surfed. There was a couple of that was a funky moment again, but he just sort of regained. I think he's just giving them something else to think about behind Jackson. Is it going to improve on his situation? He's looking to improve on a 7.5. We'll see, but
Suck it some big breaths because he got a lot of work done here, Ethan.
And, this is the second wave of the set. We are seeing that top of the tide, but this one's drawing so nicely. Wow, he's surfing with a lot of speed and precision like we, expected from him. Just beautiful on the rail. But to me, this inside section is so premeditated where he kind of links that turn and he's waiting for this one to stand up, but definitely makes it a lot more dramatic with that end section hit.
Absolutely. This is one of those special bells waves that holds its height when it comes off the bowl and then through to the inside section. It's almost like there's a special invisible bit of reef that just sort of pops up and holds its form.
For this one.
Just, a medium-sized wave coming off the reef, just lays into that first turn. Two-turn combo out the back was insane. That turn in particular, one of my favorites of the day. It's, we said that he would just be surgical precision in his heat approach. To go out, get the 933, and then straight onto this wave. Just such a high heat IQ. And then again, just finishing with that layback.
It's effortless, the way he goes about these turns. Almost a little skid on the first one, but I agree with you, Rosie. That was just a critical pocket jam. And again, opting for that backhand layback approach. Watch him drop the arm in the wall here. Oh. Bang.
He almost lost it on that first turn too. Like it went a little flat on the fins, and then he really emphasized that second turn. So definitely made up for, by Ethan's standards, a little bit of a bobble.
Yeah, that of this clash in the early stages, and Conor O'Leary just forced to wait for a set wave now to give himself a solid shot. He's going to pull the trigger on this one, drive up into this first section and blitzes the lip, absolutely hammers it, and again just gets upside down. A great combination on the outside, 3 huge turns, and this is a great response. He'll need the finish on the inside. We've got excellent scores on the board for Ethan Ewing, but Conor O'Leary on his way. Powerful work on the outside. Not rushing it, just really wants to time this well. It lays down a little bit the section, but he greets it with a nice little backhand hit. And that's exactly what he needed. Richard Dogmarsh, he loves it. Iago and Conor. Let's have a look at it again, Rich.
Beautiful pace. Connects with the first turn, sets himself up. Vertical approach on the second. Drives round on the third, and again gets nice and vertical. Just the consistency on the backhand for Conor on this wave, really evident. And then a little bit of downtime through this inside, and he does get the finishing move, but 80%, 90% of the points for this ride is going to be that 3-turn combination on the backhand. Really just pushing it as hard as he could, Rosie.
Yeah, stays low, stays crisp in that pocket. That's as hard as you can hit a lip on your backhand. A lot of the surfers coming in saying, the lip line on the waves today is really hard to judge, and Conor just eyes us off perfectly. Look at his eye line. He knows exactly where he wants to put his board. Beyond 12 o'clock there, drifts the tail, stays low and compressed on his backhand. Just so technically sound. You can take down notes from the type of surfing he's doing. Absolutely clubs that wave.
God, I love watching this slow-mo because you get to really dive into the intricacies of what they're doing on the backhand. I didn't quite pick up just how much tail release he was getting through those turns, and to do that on the backhand and have just waving in sets to his pony, Ethan Ewing.
Have a look at this wall for Ewing, who responds with a bit more aggression after Conor drops an 8.67. Ethan knows he's within reach now, and he's putting it all on the line. Full release, total commitment, and great control riding out of that move. He just vaporised that wave. There was nothing left. No point in going to the shore break on it.
I was about to say, didn't even bother. Didn't even bother with the inside.
Wow, he eviscerated this wave. I mean, so much speed and precision going up into that lip. I mean, we spoke about the 3-turn combo from Connor. I feel like, you know, Ethan is upping the ante. That last turn was beyond belief. Where does the score go? Because it's definitely better than the 8.5.
Oh, the water angle. This is great to be able to just see how the angle that Ethan's able to put the board on rail completely. Just getting the board out of the wave face. So the first turn was ferocious. Just knifes it. So composed off the bottom, a big rail wrap for the second. Complete 360 wrap, back into the pocket. This third turn for me is unbelievable. The board completely disconnects, and the ability to just shove it straight back under his feet again. Re-engage.
Decision time. Joel doesn't have priority. It will be Jordy taking it off him here. Second maneuver, a big blast there with the fan still flying. Big gouge there on the open face for the South African. Nice, easy paced wrap. But look at all the speed he's still carrying all the way to the inside. He'll just throw a little bit of a jam there as he's trying to tidy up the final maneuver. Hits it over the top. Let's enjoy this excellent surfing one more time.
Oh, it's so good to watch. He's just obviously so much experience out here, but just the awareness to place that turn a little bit lower, not go right to the top, snapping it around here. He's just putting on a clinic and locking into that fine form. I'm excited about this season for Jordy, you know. We spoke about it on the morning show, but this is probably the best start to a season we've seen from Jordy in about, 10 years? It's really cool to see. And this wave where he's won before, this wave face is going to be a lot smoother and he's going to roll the dice.
Jack Robinson is flying. He'll go for a big float to come around the corner, driving into a big open face hook. The man from WA in rhythm, huge carve again. Great pace, great tempo, throws a lot into that finishing move. It had white water, it wasn't that easy lip line to read, but he drilled it with total control. Big advantage to Jack Robinson, already has a 7.83 and capitalizing on Filipe's fall.
That one just filling up, the nose picks, but behind him, Jack takes off. Beautiful wave selection. Similarities to Jake's wave, that clean open face, and he just drives through this turn. And beautiful choice of turn in the roundhouse and then into this big open carve. And surfing it with a great pace, you know, just not over surfing anything, not overcooking anything. Right timing. But look at that, and flying through it too, just surfing with so much speed. That board's looking so good, sharp eye underneath his feet. Anytime you can place a full roundhouse out here is just, while still in the bowl, is an incredible feat, right? Because you're just demonstrating just the speed you have and the carry through the turn. But Jack's looking solid. He's put up a couple of nice scores now and making Filipe's job very hard.
She wants to be able to play a little bit of offense, but really, I think at this point, still stay on the attack. Looks like she wants this one.
Brisa made her think about it too. And Sally, knowing that she can improve on her situation, happy to take this ride. Nice carve to get started. It's a tall enough wall that it stands up a couple more times for her. And she had some speed to let go of a big finish turn. Nice little layback hit there. Trying to better a 5.5.
She's done that for sure. That wave had such a nice line to it. As she took off a bigger set wave for Sally, she had a lot of speed through all of those maneuvers. I really liked it from her. I have that inkling that it's going to improve her situation. And yes, I think she was tuning into what you're saying, Richie, because she did that perfectly.
Stretching out the turns a little bit more, because that's what the wave called for. Stands up nicely, patiently, carves off the top. for the first turn, and you can see there's these down moments between the turn as she waits again patiently. She drags this third manoeuvre out. You can see just holds onto that layback for an extra little moment there, just to put emphasis on that turn.
Got a bit of release out of that final move.
What I liked about this from Sally too is the speed that she's going into these maneuvers with. I think with the other waves that we saw, she almost kind of burnt off some speed before she attacked the section. This one gave her that slingshot feeling where she was into those big dynamic sections early and with a lot of power and speed behind her.
Here at Bells Beach in her career. Unbelievable stuff as we see Brisa now looking for a near perfect ride, and there's some of that aggression, that power that we were talking about, and she hammers the pocket on the second turn. A finish on this ride could see her get the number she needs to get into the lead. Loading up, Brisa Hennessy gets the float and she finishes it off. Doesn't worry about the fist pump, but the body language says, how do you like that?
Amazing answer back from Brisa. I mean, those crisp turns on the outside, she was taking off and surfing for that 9.
When I see excellent surfing, this feels excellent to me. Look at this wall standing up in front of her. Open face carve. And then I love how she gets a little higher here. A little bit more angle on the turn. Big swooping cutback. She brings it all the way through to the inside. Critical moment here. She needed to finish it. Stays on her feet. Great ride.
More speed and more time on the rail for me. For Brisa, she's going into these maneuvers with a lot of speed and just holding on to that velocity and putting that rail line right in the guts of the wave. And that bottom turn, just putting that board on an edge, and then again, just tapping it right in that lip line. Yeah, excellent surfing for me. Is it the 917? It's all in the judges' hands.
If it's not the 917, it's going to match or get very close to Sally's 8.17, so we got a real heat on our hand here. And the requirement, if she doesn't get the score, is going to be nowhere near that 9. It's going to be back down around the 7.
It always looks so good when you meet that end section with so much power. These two couple of turns here, I think, you know, money. A lot of points are coming from here. Nice transition. She eyeballs that second section. Lays it on rail again, beautiful technique. But for me, she starts strong and she finishes strong. Just that good impression in the judge's mind from the get-go. Wave obviously gets a little bit slow through this midsection. But for me, the way she finishes here on the inside, just that speed she comes out of that lip line floater with, it's a really positive thing to leave in the judge's brain. It's like, yes, I started strong, I finished strong.
Here we go, Griff up and riding again.
Look at this bomb. Griffin drives up into that first section. A well-timed hit to get started, and again on the attack. He's tapped in this morning. He's feeling it and reading these lumpy sections so beautifully as he makes his way to the finish and gets on top of it, does well to hang on. He's loving it and really starting to tap into the emotion.
That was a great ride, and well, we heard the interview with Cross. You know, the crew on the stairs there at Coach's Corner.
The outside, Richie, take us through this.
Yeah, big wave outside. Griff just connects with that first section, negotiates it perfectly, and then another big oncoming section just tags it. A little bit of downtime here, but you can see these critical moments are just popping up in front of him. Touch late to the last one, but geez, he did well to get there. And then just goes into some pretty unique claim there.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, last airbender. That was the haircut he was running for a while. But Griffin Colapinto, you know, on his run through the contest last year, he was so smooth, he was so well paced, but it felt like he two-wave total of 17.36 to get himself the lead. He's taken off now. And there is an aggressive tail slide on a tall wall there from Sammy to get started. This wave stands up again, goes to the rail, cuts back to the bowl. This wave pushing off the reef a little bit, but he'll get a big end section to attack here. And he does do well to hang on. It's a bouncy ride. And he gets out in front of it. Well done.
A couple factors there too. I mean, the sun looks so beautiful on that wave, but just the fact of having that early morning sunrise in your eyeballs as you're trying to attack those sections.
Well, clearly much bigger conditions from anything we've seen in this event. Sammy just brings this radical approach to the first turn. Gets the tail slide. A beautiful swooping cutback here. And then this final turn had so much drama about it. This big section looms up in front of him. Sammy just does this sort of down carve. And here was all the theatrics as he muscled his way out of that foamy section.
These are such committed turns too. Griffin was committed on tall walls, on chunky sections, but Sammy kind of got the opportunity to really lay into both his big turns.
Yeah, this is such a good answer back when you're in that combination situation, because this is going to be exactly what he needs. Highly competitive heats is why they do this. Watching Griffin trying to improve on the 7-9-3. This is a smaller looking wave, less impactful sections, but as he works this one through, definitely the finish of this wave. So intense.
Bang. And when you think about Griffin's other rides, Rich, there's been tall sections, kind of placement, floats, impressive turns, but that's way more attacking.
Yeah, heaps more flair on that final turn from Griffin. And there's just a slight question mark around the opening manoeuvres. This all bears well for sort of his position on tour and the future of what he can do on this tour.
Here goes Jack, though, digging in on that first section. Gets a little swamped in the face, but the attack, it will be rewarded. Out onto the open face. There's a great carve. This way's nice and smooth. And Jack making good use of it as he rolls through to the inside. Nice little tweak on the tail to finish this one off. 23 minutes to go. On the outside, we saw Jake up again. Hasn't really tapped into that same wave selection just yet that he's had throughout the comp, but it's early days here. Matty Bemrose
focused a lot on the small wave repertoire of Jack Robinson. As we see here, just that opening gap, a bit of a catch, but geez, he cleaned it up well. Just pumping for speed, check turn, beautiful section starts to loom, and Jack Robbo just slices it in half. Comes around to the end section, tags that finishing turn.
In these kind of conditions, Rich, you don't know if you're going to get that big, clean section, but Jack, his eyes lit up when he got to the inside for the big carve. But that first turn, as we said, he got a little swamp, but look at the aggression. It was where he placed the turn that caused him to go underwater. And as you said, he really came out of it nicely.
Yeah, he cleaned it up. He sort of almost disguised the mistake. And then he really started to find some rhythm down through this section. Love this carve here, just slicing their beautiful form and extension through the body. Now he compresses. Just harnessing all that power. Such strong legs, this guy. So steady and sure-footed. Allows him to just power through these tricky sections.
He made those subtle adjustments and kind of smoothed out the lines out there, and there hasn't been too many glitches in his performance so far. Here goes Jake on a good sized wave. This might be his last shot at it. Positive, stylish start to this one. As he hammers off the bottom, out onto that open face. Holds that line right down to the bottom of the wall. And now starting to load up. Needs a very exciting finish here. If he's going to get the number he needs, that's a massive floating re-entry. Really well executed. The question is going to be, did he do enough work on the outside?
Work done on the outside. He surfed it exceptionally well nonetheless. Big slopey wall ahead of him. Carves off that first turn around this big section. And great flow, connectivity with these big swooping turns. And then this was the exciting moment, the big finishing floater. But you can see there the shoulders are slightly slumped. Really projecting out in front of the lip. You can see full disconnection with the board. And let's have a look at the replay here of Griff streaking down the line. Building up speed, comes around this long section. The wave starts to stand up and Griff just hammers it through the lip. Really laying back, getting all that torque. Comes through to the inside, blasts through that lip again.
the breakdown of Kanoa and Morgan. I think Jack has that more raw power, whereas Kanoa's more precision, so it's going to be a good battle.
First wave for Isabella Nichols as she throws the first turn through the whitewater. Drawing a beautiful down carve, extending that one down to the flats, and then punches out the lip. What a combo. Isabella now patient off the bottom. Great timing once again off the lip.
This wave is the one I want to break down. This is a big score load. She waited a while for it, but like you said, Joey, wave selection on point. This maneuver here is the one I want to highlight. She down carves on purpose, really sets herself up back in the pocket to snap up into the second turn. All intentional, and just the foresight for that was really impressive. She doesn't finish there. She backs it up with a snap like that, dynamic to finish. Started strong, finished strong. This moment here, just really extending that carve right the way back down. And it puts her in the perfect position to pivot from behind the foam and tap this section here. That combination, that was the favourite single moment on that wave for me. I just really feel that we are going to see excellence here.
Gosh, really enjoyed that breakdown flick. Yeah, that down carve was everything. And the pace of this wave.